Hey guys, so my last video I talked about how there's just, a lot of stuff to say now that the Direct has dropped and we have so much information. So I decided to split up, kind of what I have to say about where Smash speculation is right now into 3 videos. So the last video was sort of just general Smash speculation stuff. This video is going to be a little bit more about like hints or clues and things that people have either found in the Direct or things that like Nintendo has like put up on like Instagram or Twitter, just posted somewhere, things that are kind of official that you could kind of read into and might be hinting at a character or something for Smash. So it's kind of conspiracy theory stuff, sort of tinfoil hat stuff, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm going to do that this video. Before I get into all that, I have a couple things I just want to say. Number one, just thank you guys so much for, subscribing and just, the last time I think I looked at the subscriber count, it was 6,500, which is incredible. Once again, this channel is just shocking me every step of the way, not, anything I thought it was going to be, so that's pretty incredible. A lot of people have asked, what I'm going to do after Smash speculation, if I'm going to still do stuff, and yeah, I'll assure you, I'm definitely going to do, something after Smash drops, either general gaming news stuff, Nintendo news stuff, or I could do like, Let's Plays and stuff. I have a big collection of like retro games. I'm always up to date on gaming news and stuff, so yeah, I'll definitely continue the channel down the line. There's always, Smash DLC speculation too, so yeah, the channel will definitely continue after Super Smash Bros. Comes out. Once we get a little bit closer to Ultimate's release, I'll probably start transitioning. Maybe in a month or so, I might drop maybe like a Let's Play or, maybe just something on like, hey, like Pokemon or something. I mean, I've done a few things on like Nintendo Directs and stuff. So, yeah, that sort of stuff is coming. Definitely isn't just going to be a Smash channel. It's just, right now, Ultimate's so hype. I'm so, excited for it. I just, that's where I'm at with everything. I'm just super into it. And, it's a small window of time that we have. This is a short one. We only had basically from E3 until December to really speculate about what we're going to get and be getting news on Smash all the time. So I just want to focus on that now while it's a thing, because who knows when the next Smash speculation season will even happen. So also last time I mentioned I was going to try to edit the videos a little differently to cut down on the length. I just want to be clear, I'm not going to make like shorter videos. It's not like I'm going to make these like 5-minute long videos. They're still going to be in-depth analysis videos and stuff on speculation. That'll definitely still be the format. I mentioned how I like a conversational format. I like something a little more genuine, a little bit more where you get the personality of the person. It's not just like an info dump, just about information or whatever. I like having it as a conversation, which yes, does make the videos a little longer, but I think the quality is just, it's something I'd rather watch personally, so that's what I'm going to go for. So yeah, I'm just going to edit stuff basically. If I have a thought about something, I'll shoot that as one take and I'll edit it with other things. Before I was trying to do like one continuous shot throughout the whole video, and it was tough to transition on stuff. I end up rambling, I end up getting off topic, kind of like I'm doing right now. So, I'm just going to edit it a little differently. I did it last video. That video wasn't short or anything, so no worries if you like the long videos. Just going to cut down on essentially excess time by editing a little better. Another thing, so obviously I'm getting a lot more subscribers and everything. I'm trying to be really active on the channel, so I try to respond to as many comments as I can. I try to read at least all the comments. If I don't respond, it's getting a little harder to do that. I have to research stuff. I have to stay up to date with stuff. I have to, shoot the videos and everything, so it's getting a little harder to keep up with all the comments, but I will, be just as active as I have been. It's just with more and more comments and more subscribers, being just as active might not mean I'm there for every single comment, but I will continue to try to do that. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to say before I get into this video. One more final thing. So last video I talked about the stage count, and I've kind of changed my mind a little bit about that one, so I just figured I'd throw that out here. I guess I heard that it might have been mistranslated slightly in the English version of the Direct, that the stage count is 103 and that's our final stage count. It might have been more like Sakurai was saying that that's where we're at right now. So it's not completely clear. I guess, again, it was a slight mistranslation. So if we're not at 103 for the total at release, there is like 6 spots there. I do expect like a DLC button or something, so maybe like 5 more stages could still happen, if that was slightly mistranslated and 103 isn't our final count. It's also, somebody pointed out to me that if we did have 103 stages plus a random button, you'd be able to do, I think, a perfect square with 13 by 8, and then, you know, Sakurai could still drop a DLC button somewhere else on the screen there. So I feel like if Sakurai was going to end us at 103 stages, he would have made it a perfect square, and then if it was just DLC stuff coming later. So yeah, I've kind of changed my mind about that. So a little bit more for characters like a Rhythm Heaven rep or Isaac from Golden Sun or something, you know, characters that aren't that their series aren't already represented in Smash and should maybe have a stage associated with them. Obviously, I said before, you know, some characters have gotten in Smash and not had stages associated with them. Marth and Roy, for instance, in Melee. So yeah, it can happen. I never said they were, you know, that was going to deconfirm people, or, you know, no one like that could get in. But yeah, I've kind of changed my mind just from some more information, essentially the mistranslation thing and the fact that, yeah, you know, if you think about it, it could be a perfect square. So why would Sakurai leave some spots there? Again, I guess for possibly DLC, but, you know, who knows? And just on that note, I think it's important. This is something I see a lot of people kind of hesitant towards during speculation and Smash stuff, but I'm doing it here, is changing your mind with evidence. I think that's really important. You know, if something comes out and it points towards something, I'll change my mind about it. This is how I do Smash speculation. I want to know what's actually going to be in the game. So being stubborn about, you know, holding on to what you said before isn't always the best move. So yeah, I just, you know, I'd suggest if you do your own speculation to kind of do that. Obviously, if there's a character you really like and you want to hold on to that, you know, that's cool. You know, you can push for that character, support that character, be loyal to that character. That's cool and everything. But, you know, just be realistic about the likelihood of that person if evidence comes out for or against them. So yeah, you know, so anyway, I guess speaking of evidence, let's jump into these hints and stuff before I get rambling even more. So there's a bunch of things people have pointed out in the Direct, or just things that Sakurai or other Nintendo employees have done lately that might be pointing towards characters. Again, this is kind of conspiracy theory stuff, so, you know, don't believe this is like, you know, definite information. This is just stuff that might be pointing towards someone. So I think it's worth looking at. It's kind of fun to look at it. So yeah, there's a little bit of a precedence to kind of believe some of this stuff. Right before the Direct, we had Sakurai tweet something about how his eyes might be red because the Direct was, I think it was at 11 p.m. in Japan, so, you know, Sakurai's working really hard to get the game done, and it's a little late at night, so he said his eyes might be red. Well, that kind of pointed towards two things. We got the song Bloody Tears, and that song even dropped, I think, accidentally the night before. The Nintendo YouTube channel accidentally switched one of the music tracks to Bloody Tears, so kind of indicated that we were going to get Simon, or something from Castlevania anyway. And also we got K. Rool, and K. Rool has one big, you know, bloodshot eye. So Sakurai tweeting about having red eyes, while it might be nothing, might have been pointing towards that. So, you know, there's some precedence here that, yeah, Sakurai might be dropping us hints. So I guess it's a good idea to go look and see, you know, what he's possibly hinting at. Another thing, though, is people have done this in the past, and sometimes maybe it's been a hint because people have said, oh, that's going to point to that character, and we got that character, so cool. Other times people have said, oh, that's definitely pointing to that character, and we don't get that character. So whether or not things are hints or not, I don't know. It's not always clear. Some things that have happened in the past, Sakurai, so something that did kind of come true, though people didn't really look at it too hard, or at least from my recollection, people didn't. Sakurai tweeted this picture of all these action figures kind of fighting, because Sakurai uses action figures to kind of model stuff for Smash, and it had Dark Pit, and it had Charizard alone in that picture. If people had really looked at that, we could have probably determined we were going to get Dark Pit and Charizard without, you know, the whole Pokemon trainer thing attached to it. So that was a real one. Other things that have happened where people, you know, guessed at stuff or assumed something was a hint and it didn't happen. We had like this thing with, like, I think it was the Nintendog stage where Sakurai talked about how the size of characters didn't matter. There's a lot of stuff with Ridley back then, back in like Smash 4 speculation, that people were like, oh, that's definitely hinting at Ridley, and kind of held out hope, and you know, we didn't get Ridley. There was some other things that were a little more bizarre. There was, like, I think Pac-Man in the clouds somebody looked at and said, oh, I can definitely tell Pac-Man's there. We did get Pac-Man, so maybe that was a hint. Again, it's just clouds, though. Like, you know, it's like a Rorschach test. You can kind of see anything, and Pac-Man's a pretty simple shape. So I don't know if that one, you know, really fit that. There were some other things. Sakurai showed, like, the back of Palutena, and then it turned, it was pseudo-Palutena, so you know, we did get Palutena, so is that a hint? I don't know. So yeah, you know, there's been a lot of hints in the past. More recently, Sakurai showed, like, so in the first E3, direct or trailer or whatever you want to call it, E3 showcase of Smash, Sakurai was sitting in his office, and in the background of his office was a barrel, rope ladder, and a plant, and it had a very kind of jungly look, very Donkey Kong look. And who did we just get? We just got K. Rool. So the stuff in the background of Sakurai's office might actually be hinting at stuff, which kind of leads me to the first hint that we got, and I'm going to talk about here. So at first when people were pointing out like, oh man, look at the chairs behind Sakurai, they're purple and yellow, and I'm sure some of you have probably heard about this because it's been kind of making the rounds around the internet, that's got to point to somebody. At first I heard Waluigi, and I just kind of wrote the whole thing off as, okay, that's crazy. I really think Waluigi's just out. He's been shown to be an assist trophy. I'm not holding out hope. This was just giving me flashbacks of people holding out hope for Ridley and looking for hints all over the place for him. But then, I saw the thing where Sakurai's last office had like a barrel and a rope ladder and things that kind of pointed towards Donkey Kong. So I decided, give this another look, and people sort of changed their mind away from Waluigi, and I've heard some other things. I've heard, color scheme could be Rayman, which does fit. I've heard it could be Shantae with the red pillow involved as well. So the red pillow, the purple chair, and the yellow chair are very similar colors. I've also heard probably the big one, which was Skull Kid. So the red pillow has kind of like a design that's similar to Skull Kid. I think it's got a little bit of like yellowish orange on it. And then the purple and yellow chairs could be Tattle and Tail, the two fairies that, hang out with Skull Kid. That one feels a little more concrete to me, especially because LOZ18 sort of said that he thinks we're going to get Skull Kid, and he seems to be a pretty credible leaker. Last time I called him I think LOK18 on accident. I don't know why I did that. I saved a file under LOK18. I don't know where that came from. I know it's LOZ18. I talked about how it was probably Legend of Zelda. Most of his information before E3 was Zelda related, and I made that connection there. So I don't know, whatever. Just clearing that up. But yeah, so a lot of people have said that it might be pointing to Skull Kid, just the stuff in the background. And again, with the DK thing from the E3 Direct, maybe this is pointing at some character, and Skull Kid would fit pretty good here. There's also recently this Diablo trailer, and in it, you see Reggie's office, and he's got a little Skull Kid action figure. Some people have asked, is that a Skull Kid amiibo? I don't think they'd show that if it wasn't out yet, but there's a little Skull Kid on his desk. There's also some other Nintendo stuff, so it could just be nothing, but Skull Kid's sitting on Reggie's desk right now, so that's something. And the Nintendo UK, I think it was Instagram, put out a picture of Skull Kid. Now they tend to put stuff out just based on what fans are talking about and stuff. I also don't think they'd have any insider information on Smash. So, there's something there. They might just be doing that because Skull Kid's being talked about on the internet right now. He is pretty talked about after the Direct, LOZ18 kind of leaking him, and just other things, this Sakurai background thing. So that might just be all that is. But yeah, so there's a lot of things pointing at Skull Kid. So another character in the background of Sakurai's office could be pointing out is Banjo-Kazooie, who's I'm a huge fan of. Right behind Gino, that's my most wanted character right now. We did have Verge been talking about how Minecraft might be involved in some way. We did have, that cross-play commercial between Microsoft and Nintendo. So possibly Sakurai went out of his way to go get Banjo-Kazooie. I know Phil Spencer said he'd be okay with it quite a while ago, so I don't know if he was under an NDA agreement. He might not have even been able to say that, but maybe Sakurai went to him late. I'm kind of thinking if we get Banjo-Kazooie, it might be like a DLC character like Cloud. I'm kind of not expecting him base game, just because I feel like that whole crossplay thing maybe came a little late in the game. But yeah, so this background here, Sakurai's office, there's this some sort of book, and it kind of looks like Banjo-Kazooie might be on the cover of it, or at least the color scheme looks similar to looks almost like Banjo's head, sort of like the shorts, sort of like Kazooie. So possible. The better thing I think is that on the shelf there's some sort of object, and it looks a lot like a Mumbo, token. So I thought that, actually like the skull tokens, it looks a little bit more, I'd say that's a little bit more likely to be pointing at Banjo-Kazooie, if any of these hints are, hinting at any character. I thought that was pretty cool and worth noting. So I showed this briefly last video, but there's also in the actual King K. Rool reveal trailer, Donkey Kong sitting and watching television. He's sitting exactly like Karate Joe from the Rhythm Heaven games. The TV is also very much so like the TV that Karate Joe watches. If you look at the antenna specifically, it's like 1-to-1 spot on. So, that's not a very common antenna look. So I think that is probably some sort of reference, whether or not that means we're getting, a Rhythm Heaven rep or Karate Joe himself. Who's to say? But that is the one character we're missing from the Gamatsu leak is Chorus Kids or Chorus Men. some sort of Rhythm Heaven rep would kind of complete that leak. We did get, reason to believe that that was a character that was possibly planned. We had, the Gametsu leak, which has everybody now that Crom's in from it is in except for Chorus Kids. Chorus Kids had an icon in the data of Smash 4. There was Rhythm Heaven enemies in Smash 1. I think that was the only game that had enemies that weren't from a series that was represented with a character in Smash. So yeah, it's very possible we're getting some sort of Rhythm Heaven rep this time, and potentially Donkey Kong sitting that way watching TV is hinting at Karate Joe. So that would be cool. Also, at the end of the King K. Rool trailer, King K. Rool captures, or he kind of buries, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. And, if you know your Donkey Kong country, who's going to come save Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong? Dixie Kong. And we do have some precedents to believe that, characters from series that get revealed, such as Ridley, can have Echo Fighters show up in the next Direct or the next time they show a bunch of Smash information. We got Dark Samus, so very possible we'll get Dixie Kong showing up next time as an Echo Fighter. I think that's an Echo Fighter people are really banking on. So yeah, I'd say this is probably a pretty good hint or a pretty good cliffhanger to see, where that goes. So I'm kind of expecting Dixie as an Echo. So some smaller hints people have talked about from the Direct. There's the list of names when they showed tournament mode. Some of those might be pointing at characters. I'm kind of thinking they're just, giving handles that gamers would have. One of them was like D Bowser, so possibly Dry Bowser as an echo of Bowser. Could happen. I don't know. I'm not putting too much into that one. Another smaller thing, I think this one's a little reaching, especially because last time with like looking in the clouds of trailers, I don't know, it always seemed like it was reaching. But if you look really closely when King K. Rool's like running, there's like a cloud, and people have said it kind of looks like Chorus Kid's face or something. I kind of see it. Personally, I think it looks like Geno, so I'm thinking it's just like a Rorschach test type thing. You're going to see whatever you want to see in the cloud. So yeah, but it's worth pointing out. So now some stuff that's happened outside of the Direct specifically. The big one is Sakurai did a tweet about, it showed the Monster Hunter Dragon, and it had, I think, Marth, Link, and Shulk in the Coliseum Fire Emblem Arena, about to like fight the dragon, it looks like. And the way that they shot it is a very, very similar angle to how the battle system in Golden Sun looks. So possibly a hint at Isaac. I know Isaac's one of the big characters, kind of like K. Rool and Ridley and Geno, who are like, fan favorites from back in the Brawl day, who may have done really good in the ballot, and we may finally be getting them. So, we didn't get Isaac even returning as a assist trophy from Brawl to Smash 4, so I don't know if that series is, I don't know how Sakurai feels about Golden Sun, but he's tweeting what appears to be very similar to the Camelot battle system. Camelot's the company that makes Golden Sun. They also made like the Shining Force series, which also has very similar that angle, which isn't, the typical RPG angle, so it could be something here. Might also just be Sakurai showcasing, he just made a shot to fit all the characters in, but potentially this is pointing towards Isaac. Some other things that are outside of Smash that have kind of been floating around for a while here. You had, in the new Kirby game, they have all these characters and stuff getting revealed, and Waddle Dee has, like, his description says something about how he deserves a reward. Could his reward be getting in Smash? He says he kind of deserves a reward for being, like, a prominent Kirby character these days, so yeah, that's possible. There was also a Shantae, I guess, free DLC or something, something about like Jammies mode or something about pajama mode, I guess, that came out, and I think that came out July 31st, and in it says something about like being invited to the ultimate slumber party or sleepover or something. So you got ultimate right in there and invited right there. So we already got Shovel Knight as an assist trophy. So I don't know, does that mean Shantae is going to be playable? Because, we need an indie rep, and Shovel Knight kind of got the second place award of being an assist trophy. Or does that just mean Shantae is going to be an assist trophy like Shovel Knight? With indie games, I'm always just like really happy if Smash even acknowledges them and how popular they were. I know both those characters were really popular during the ballot. So it'd be cool if she was part of Smash in any way. Definitely think a Genie character's unique and cool, and I'd be welcoming either way, assist trophy or playable. So one last thing about characters having things in their games and potentially pointing towards Smash. Rodan, I'm not sure how to say his name, the guy from Bayonetta that got in as an assist trophy. Rodan's the big pterodactyl thing from Godzilla. So I think it's Rodin. I know it's with an I. In one of the Bayonetta games, he has this like note that says like kind of alludes to Smash Brothers and how he'd like to join next time to like test his skills. So having him show up as an assist trophy again, having Shantae talk about that in her game, could show up as an assist trophy as well. I'm thinking Waddle Dee's probably more of a playable character candidate, so that's where I'd put him if I had to guess, but I guess, whatever, characters having things that could point to Smash in their own games, kind of like hints like that, so far have kind of shown up as assist trophies, but again, I'd still kind of bank on Waddle Dee being playable. Yes, that's pretty much all the stuff that I've seen, either people talking about or I found myself in the direct that I noticed as being like possibly a hidden message or something, hinting at a character. Take this stuff with a grain of salt. It's very conspiracy theory-ish, but it's fun to look at that stuff. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to think about it. It could, add a little bit more likelihood to some of these characters' chances. A lot of the characters talked about had, a pretty good shot anyway, so, having some hints towards them, it could happen. I think the roster is probably getting pretty tight at this point, so, I don't think all these characters can get in, but the hints could just be that their series are going to be represented in Smash in some way, again, assist trophies and stuff. So yeah, just interesting stuff, cool to look at, but again, take it with a grain of salt. So next video I'm going to talk about leaks, what leaks I'm looking at, what leakers I think are still credible and stuff like that here after the direct. I probably won't go into super detail about everything those leakers have done, but I'll talk about which characters they're talking about and how I feel about those characters, and then I may do a little bit about given all that information, all that evidence, where I'm at with my own roster prediction. I'll probably end the video like that and talk about which characters I'm thinking and how many characters I'm thinking we're going to get. So yeah, look forward to that video and stay tuned. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. Really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.